Hello everybody, welcome back to MFA TV News. I'm your host Scott Cione, July 30th, 2018. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we have some new software, we have a new green screen, and I'm going to be delivering the MFA TV News daily. Now, right off the bat, I want to get into an article that I published on the Planet X News website earlier this morning, and it has to do with the fires out in California. Now, something that I noticed whenever I was reading the article and getting caught up on everything that's happening out there is that it states in the article that this fire in, quote, Carr, California, was started by a car. How ironic. So if you give me 1 second, I'm going to go ahead and switch screens here real quick, and we're going to go ahead and bring this news article up. And again, this was on the Planet X News website. And this article, the heading was California Fires. 6 killed, 880 plus structures destroyed, and more than 37,000 people evacuated. Now, going down into the base of the article, it states that the Carr fire in Shasta County currently is the largest in the state. It began July 23rd when a vehicle suffered a mechanical failure and has so far scorched 95,000 acres. Now, that number has probably gone up. But you know, ladies and gentlemen, it just seems very ironic, almost like some type of symbolism that the Carr fire in Shasta County was supposedly started by a car. You know, I'm really having a hard time believing that this fire was started by a Carr fire in Carr, California, located in Shasta County. Now, right now, over 38,000 people have been evacuated from that county. Structures destroyed everywhere. Now, there's a few videos that were in this article. I'm going to go ahead and play these, and I want you to just take a look at this devastation. You know, I did a video the other day pertaining to the combustible material, aluminum, in these chemtrails, just laying all over the roofs of these houses and on the roofs and the hoods of your cars and in your grass. And aluminum is very, very flammable and combustible when it's in a powder form. And you can guarantee that they're using these aluminum nanoparticles in these chemtrails. So let's get right to this first video article here. I'm going to go ahead and blow the screen up for everybody.
Well, everybody else had left, and the wind had come up to 50 miles an hour or more, and there was just all kinds of debris flying around in the air and hot embers and hot leaves coming down all over the yard. I figured I better get out of here.
One 16893, still standing.
So you came back this morning and found that your house was still standing.
And I was so excited, yeah. I was so excited I cried. Yep, I thank the Lord.
Now, folks, that was in the USA Today. And this next video article, it states dry conditions, excessive heat, fan the flames of the California fires. Now, folks, if you noticed in that last video article up here, the reporter was kind of insinuating, okay, well, look at this house. This house is completely disintegrated, melted, burned to hell and back. And the house right next door, nothing wrong with it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the same identical scenario that we saw last year during these fires in California. Are the powers that be trying to burn these people out? It's a high possibility. Let's get into the next video article.
Good evening, I'm Elaine Quijano. We begin in California, where the death toll from a massive fire burning north of Sacramento is climbing. Police say a sixth body has been found, but provided no further details. The other victims include a great-grandmother and 2 children. The Carr fire has destroyed more than 500 buildings and is threatening more than 5,000 structures. More than 38,000 people have been evacuated. It is only 5% contained. More than 12,000 firefighters are battling 17 large wildfires across California. Carter Evans is near Redding with the latest.
As the Carr fire continues to burn through seemingly endless amounts of dry brush near Redding, more than 3,400 firefighters are racing to contain it. And today, where flames have already scorched entire neighborhoods, authorities are searching through the rubble for those who are still missing. Did you hear any evacuation orders?
No, none.
Nothing at all?
I was at the house until I was only going about 15 minutes. When my wife called me and said, "You got to get here, the fire's coming up the hill."
Ed Bledsoe got the devastating news Saturday that his wife and 2 great-grandchildren, ages 4 and 5, perished in the fire. They were trapped at home surrounded by flames. Ed says he was stuck at a roadblock. So to keep them calm, he talked with them on the phone until the end.
I was talking to my little grandson on the phone. He's saying, "Grandpa, please, you got to come and help us. The fire's at the back door. Come and get us." I said, "I'm close by, son. I'm trying to get in there." I said, I'm right by you." I said, "I'm right by you, honey. Just hold on. Grandpa's coming."
Were they inside the house?
They were inside the house.
And there was nowhere to run?
My wife wrapped them up in wet blankets. She wet a bunch of blankets and wrapped them up in wet blankets, put them down at the side of the bed. She got a wet blanket and put it on her, got over the top of them. We laid there until the fire took them.
His home was one of more than 500 structures that burned when ferocious winds blew a wall of fire into parts of Redding on Thursday. Today, authorities confirmed another body was found. Roughly 38,000 people are still under evacuation, and police say looters are targeting empty neighborhoods. Officers have increased patrols and made arrests. Redding Police Chief Roger Moore says the district attorney wants to make an example.
The DA's office is going to be prosecuting that to the full extent as a felony, and we are going to make them very public. And so you need to know that.
When people are finally allowed to return to their homes, this is what many will find. People want to get back into these communities. They want to see if their homes survived. Yeah. What's the slowdown?
What we want to do right now is make sure that the areas that have been kind of devastated by this fire are safe. The last thing we want is to let people back in and then have someone injured or killed because it's not safe in here yet.
When the damage is this bad, though, it's going to be hard to salvage much of anything, and there's still much more firefighting ahead. Officials now say there are 150 new engines on the way from out of state to help fight this fire. Elaine?
Carter Evans with a heartbreaking story there. Carter, thanks.
Good evening. I'm Elaine Quijano. Sorry about that. If you just take a look at those houses look like they were literally destroyed by bombs. And unfortunately, I have a video report from CNN, the crap news network, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at their report.
The conditions remain absolutely brutal out here. It's very, very hot today, about 105 degrees. I want to show you something behind me. You can see these firefighters behind. They're putting out hot spots because of the potential for more winds tonight. They're concerned that you might have some flying debris that could catch other homes in this subdivision on fire. This is the Lake Redland Estates subdivision, which absolutely got decimated by this fire. So that just tells you about the ongoing concern that crews have out here, that there could be more fires, even in a neighborhood where the fire has already passed through. So the red flag warning remains in effect at least until tomorrow morning. the bottom line here, Fred, is really there's no end in sight with these conditions, and in a lot of ways this region feels like it's paralyzed with so many people, thousands of people under this evacuation order. You can't get a hotel room in the area. A lot of the evacuation centers are at maximum capacity as well. And so folks obviously want things to end, but really what crews are saying is that with these conditions, they just don't know when they'll be able to get this fire under control, Fred.
And then, Dan, you've got crews behind you there, trying to douse these hot spots or potential hot spots. But in general, what are the kinds of resources that these firefighters need to try to contain more and to keep themselves safe?
Well, there's really only so much they can do. At this point, this fire is 5% contained. A lot of this just depends on the weather and particularly the wind. There are a number of firefighters out here. I mean, 3,500 have been assigned to it. And of course, you have a lot of aircraft that are dousing the flames when they see them erupt. But really, it just comes down to Mother Nature and the weather cooperating. Obviously, they're trying to do the best they can to put out hot spots when they see them, to put out the flames. You have the hotshot crews trying to build containment lines. But the bottom line is these conditions remain fierce because we're talking about bone dry conditions and heat. And so no matter how many firefighters you throw at this thing, the challenges remain.
And then, Dan, this Carr fire is just one of several wildfires there in that state. What are the distinctions, or are they all?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and end that CNN report, and I'm going to go ahead and jump back over to our other screen. Now, ladies and gentlemen, absolute, utter devastation in the state of California. As reported, over 17 fires burning throughout the state. Now, a lot of you have been messaging me and sending in emails and wondering why trees and shrubs near some of these homes are not burnt, show absolutely no signs whatsoever of being near these horrendous flames. As you could see in that last report, the home was absolutely devastated, and there were trees within just a few feet of that home. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the same identical scenario from last year with these fires. Still completely unexplained. They were in semi-drought conditions, but the condition of those homes completely obliterated is just absolutely unbelievable. And, these fires are not just burning in the state of California. There are several other states out west, out Midwest and out in the West, yes, that are currently burning. I was reading a news report just yesterday, and it was pertaining to the country of Sweden, way, way up in the Arctic. Forest fires burning. Several forest fires burning throughout different countries in Europe. Are they literally trying to burn people out? Once again, the same scenario that we had last year. And now this year, it seems to be worse. People are losing their lives, their homes, and everything that they owned. So we're going to keep up to date with this information coming out of California, several other states, and from around the world. This is Scott from MFA TV News. Have a good evening.